Walt Disney Parks and Resorts now has a new union on their hands. While Disney hasn't made a lot of statements about the vote to join Actors Equity, it seems that many performances are quietly being canceled. Let's talk about Disney trying to take a little bit more money off the table here on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas G. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is the guy that I go to for all of my theme park questions, Mr. VashSky. Vash, can you tell me, where is Doctor Strange?
Well, I think a lot of people are asking that question right now because apparently he might not be making appearances in Avengers Campus as he has made Sense the Land open, I believe, in 2021 now. Yeah, it's a sad state for the Disneyland Resort because we have been entertainment deprived for, man, I don't know how long now. It's been a while, 10 years or so, that they've been slowly but surely cutting back on entertainment and performances and all these small little shows they used to have all over the place. And now we're hearing that not one but two shows might be seeing their unceremonious end in the coming days.
It's a fascinating thing to me to think about how much they like to say that the cast members are what makes the magic. And of course, this unionization that just came out, that just happened. There were a lot of charges that were leveled at Disney. And I think that they made I'm not necessarily pro-union here. I've been in unions in the past, and generally speaking, it hasn't worked out well for me. It's not something that I favor. There are some instances, of course, where unions are necessary. And I think they made a pretty good case this time, talking about instances where character actors, these are the people who, not safe for magic here, will be playing, people in those big character heads or face characters, as we like to call them, like an actress playing, let's say, a character like Mantis, and hypothetically wearing black contacts while she's playing Mantis. Well, we happen to have heard, completely separate from this, that there was an Asian actress who was in the parks playing a face character and wearing those black contacts, and then when she removed them, her eyes were dyed. I'm gonna say, hopefully temporarily, I'm really hopeful that it's temporarily, to a shade of gray after she wore these contacts out in the California heat for too long, or notes about the back strain that comes from wearing one of those giant character heads. It seems like Disney created a situation that they didn't address, and these people unionized to finally stand their ground in a situation where cast members matter a lot and weren't able to live off of this, and were also being injured for doing the job. Vash, do you have anything to add there before we switch to what you've got?
I will just say that I always felt that the safety concerns that these cast members had, I think were absolutely grievances that were worth unionizing over, if in fact Disney wasn't actually taking the appropriate steps to mitigate them on the front end there. But I always was very hesitant about asking for maybe a living wage as it relates to California employment and so forth, because it was like, look, the company is cutting expenditures all across the shop here, all across divisions, and especially at Disney Parks, as they try to maximize revenue potential from this division that is really honestly powering the entire company, right? We have seen financial statements that suggest that Disney Parks division, or now Experiences as it's well known, is contributing 70% of the overall operating income for the entire company, and 30% of that coming from Walt Disney World just by itself right there. So to me, it was like, look, you got to think big picture here. If you're going to ask for some of these things, understand that there might be unintended consequences from them. And now we're seeing that here. This is from Katie Francis on Disneyland News Today. They're basically the same thing, folks. You can see right here, rumor Club Pixar at Disney California Adventure abruptly closing 2 months early in the wake of cast member unionization. Sources close to Walt Disney World News Today, see, told you, have indicated that Disneyland Resort is preparing to cut back entertainment offerings, beginning with Club Pixar. Club Pixar is part of the Pixar Fest offerings at Disney California Adventure. It was slated to run for the length of the festival through August 4th. Reports indicate that today, June 2nd, will be the final days of operation. So this is located in the Hollywood backlot area at DCA, and you might think, oh, well, it's just like a dance party. There are people on stage that, dance in unison and so forth. No big deal, no big loss. This was going away anyway. Well, now we have a second report coming out of Walt Disney World News Today, or Disneyland news today. Sorry. But Shin and Ace right here. Doctor Strange Mysteries of the Mystic Arts show. Next Disneyland Resort Entertainment cut amid cast member unionization.
Hello there, Vash, in editing right here. As I was putting this together, it looks like we have another update to this story, this time from Scott Gustin right here. The final performance of Doctor Strange Mysteries of the Mystic Arts and Avengers Campus at Disney California Adventure Park is said to be on June 30th. Disneyland officials told Brady McDonald and OC Register. Scott Gustin goes on to say, quick update, while the show is ending at the end of the month, Doctor Strange will continue to encounter guests throughout Avengers Campus per Disneyland officials. It appears the report from Disneyland News Today was correct. It was indeed on its way out. And now we have two instances, confirmed instances of shows ending their run prematurely at the Disneyland Resort in the wake of this unionization effort by performance cast members. We have to believe that this is linked at this point. We can see, obviously, disappointment from fans. Not good. Let's go ahead and get right back in the video.
This Doctor Strange show debuted with Avengers Campus when this land opened there. And it has been a mainstay and has been very well received in a land that didn't really have that much to entertain guests. Obviously, it only opened with the one attraction. They added on Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout to it as well to say, hey, we have two attractions. They really only added one, right, when this thing opened. And the Spider-Man show is great, but it's very infrequent on its times and so forth. And sometimes, that effect doesn't actually go at all. So to have this kind of intimate character show like this one was great. It was fantastic. To hear that they're cutting this show, I think is very alarming.
I would agree. And kids tend to remember these moments. I know that when I've gone with people, those interactions that it's something unique, especially when there is an audience element to it, when there's call-outs, especially if there's kids involved. That's really something special that Disney does really well. This makes me wonder, obviously the character talk with Crush or whatever that is called out at Epcot, even if that's still there. Now Universal is doing their own version with Poe, the Kung Fu Panda pavilion or whatever you want to call that in DreamWorks Land. Those are the kind of things, that unpredictability and that special magic moment that you can have here. I wonder if Disney is just, as they are trying to weather the storm, as all of the parks are, the budgets are tightening here. I wonder if all of this is going to go away and they're going to retool everything as they try to get past this rough period for the parks.
I'm not sure. I mean, I've seen these kind of cuts before. I've seen these kind of just whittling away before. It doesn't usually come back unless there's some executive, usually the president of Disneyland or somebody else, who is really motivated to bring this stuff back. I remember George Galagridis, he was really motivated to bring the Voices of Liberty into the Lincoln Theater back in the day. And then as soon as he was out, well, that show was gone as well. So these things typically don't end well. Now we have a report coming out of Scott Gustin right here as the allegations are being made in some channels of the media. Disney has responded. So it says right here, Club Pixar during Pixar Fest at Disneyland Resort will no longer include the DJ and dancers. The changes were made based on guest feedback and operational considerations per Disneyland officials. Games, photo ops, and other offerings will continue daily from 4:30 to 8:30 p.m. That's kind of weird language being used there. Now, the operational considerations, I think, is much more in line with what actually is happening rather than guest feedback.
Yeah, I would say I would agree. I would tend to agree here. And Scott has his finger on the pulse on what is happening. He can, of course, make his own judgments on why things are changing, or maybe he can report what the company reports on what's changing here. I can't imagine guest feedback was that strong on an instance like this. I'm not much of a dance party person myself, so maybe this appealed to kids. I do know that Walt Disney World has put in several dance parties in a row in a few of their locations. I can't think that Disneyland versus Disney World is really that different. I would think this is a cost versus guest perception kind of decision.
I would think so. This is definitely exclusive to the California market right here. So it just kind of tells you what's going on behind the scenes here, and this is why I was very hesitant about about some of the demands that these soon to be unionized cast members were making, because it's like, look, understand, they have made cuts. They cut the puppets, for example, when those puppeteers unionized so very long ago, and they've been making cuts all over the place. Like I was saying before, they've been making cuts to entertainment specifically. So to put yourself out there in a position where you could be removed, I don't think that's necessarily a great outcome.
Yeah, totally agree. Now, we want to throw this to our cast members there in the comment section down below. That's what we should call the people who contribute here on That Park Place to the comment section. No, we probably can't do that. That would get us in trouble sometime later. But we want to know your thoughts if you're watching this video in the comment section down below. Is this just the natural consequence of unionization? Is this something where Disney is just being greedy? We're crowdsourcing this because I want to know the opinions of the people who are watching this video. What do you think about the situation at hand here? Are you going to miss Doctor Strange? That's probably a smaller crowd than the rest. Like this video if you like this video, and please, if you don't mind, consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.